Welcome back, everybody, to Blue the Rangers YouTube page. So, big update on where we've been with some issues. Haven't had any videos or really any online presence for a little bit due to a couple things. Blue was having some issues. Thought she was dying. couldn't figure out for the life of us what was going on. So basically, whole story is that we were driving down the road one day, and Blue started having some major issues as far as not wanting to really shift out of first gear, RPMs either staying real high or her wanting to stall out. You know, the truck was having all sorts of issues. So we went through it was probably about 8 hours of actually working on it, and several weeks of just looking different things up, trying to figure out what other things it could be. We went through replacing this sensor, most of the spark plug wires, because couldn't exactly get to these. I'll find a way. I'll replace those at some point. I got them. But yeah, most of the spark plug wires. What is this? The mass airflow sensor? Yeah, that. I actually thought this back here, the idle air control, the IAC valve, I thought this went bad. So I returned it for the warranty at Advanced, and I put on the IAC valve from the Mustang motor that I have, the 93 Mustang. I put that on here because it's the same motor. I put this on here. It didn't change anything at all. So I went ahead, ordered a new one because I thought that one might have been bad. And then what else did we change? We went through and hooked up an OBD1 scanner to it. At one point, we were hearing a misfire off the tailpipe. And it was just like, you would let it warm up, and it would start shaking and rattling, and then it would fall on its face. The RPMs would come back up, and then it would just do this repeating process of coming back up to like 500, like real low RPMs. It would come back up to like 500 RPMs at idle, and then it would just slam on its face. And there was a couple times where it completely stalled out and died. But yeah, we almost changed the coil packs, and just a whole bunch of stuff. But one day, I actually changed the TPS. This TPS was the first thing we changed, because we thought it went bad. But yeah, we were changing a whole bunch of stuff. Almost went to changing the one O2 sensor, because on the OBD1 scanner, the O2 sensor was reading lean. Yeah, it was reading lean. So we were like, okay, well, we'll take that off, see if it's bad. And if it's not bad, then something else. It's probably the fuel injectors then, not having enough fuel going to them. We checked the fuel pressure, did a whole vacuum test, didn't see any vacuum leaks. And then I was kind of frustrated. I was giving up. My father was out here, and he had leaned against these vacuum lines, and it stopped rattling. The RPMs came back up, and he was like, well, hold on, let me just hold on to this stuff for a minute. So he starts holding on to the different valves and stuff like that, and he noticed this one right here, this valve line, or this vacuum line. He was holding on to it, right? And he's holding it here, holding it here, holding it here, and for a good 10 minutes, it didn't have a single issue at idle. Moment he lets go, it falls on its face. So we're like, okay, there's a vacuum leak that the smoke wasn't showing. Where does this lead? Well, this one leads to the transmission. Thank God it wasn't actually anything wrong with the transmission, because as you guys know, if you've seen the previous videos, we already changed the transmission out of the 93 Mustang, the A4LD transmission out of that one. Whole project swap. It took something like 16, 18 hours of a swap, all in a garage, on jacks, and like 5 of us. Actually, it was 4 of us, 4 or 5 of us. But yeah, we went through changing all this stuff, and it actually being that vacuum line was unhooked from the transmission somehow. It goes in there, and it hooks around, it plugs in. There's a whole bracket down there to hold it in. If it was raised up right now, I'd probably try to get up underneath there and show you, but I'm not worried about it. Yeah, it was unhooked for some reason. Once we hooked it back up, took it around the block, ran just fine. I've been driving on it for a few days now, and it's just insane to me that I was out of a vehicle for a good 2 weeks because a line came off. And how it came off, no clue. no clue. But it caused so many issues that were prevalent to other things being wrong. You wouldn't have thought it was that because we were changing other stuff because, you know, the TPS sensor. Spoke to a buddy of mine, and the first thing he said with the symptoms that I gave him was, oh, your TPS sensor's bad. There you go. Replaced it. Still didn't fix it. I was really hoping it would. But yeah. Right now, everything's running good. Able to drive in a car with, or a truck with some great audio, as you all know. I miss this. I've been driving to and from work in a vehicle that just has stock speakers, so I'm glad to have that back. But yeah, we're back. We're gonna figure out what else is next. Probably tint. Probably get tint taken care of. Lowering kit at some point, a 3-4 drop. Yeah. Don't know exactly when the next project will be, but it will be the next project. One of those two things. Probably 10. I missed a whole car show because of that crap. I think it was quite literally the day after, or 2 days after the car show, we found the issue. So, big shout out to my dad for taking time out of his day to come fiddle with it and just play with stuff around, and he happened to stumble upon that vacuum leak. We did a whole vacuum test, so we nullified that out. You know, oh, it's not a vacuum leak. Apparently, we wouldn't have been able to see the smoke coming out because it's coming out from down underneath. So, probably dissipated before it got there because we weren't using an actual vacuum leak tester kit thing where it pumps like mineral oil smoke and it heats it up and it pushes it through the whole system with like decent PSI, you know, to actually push everything through and get a real thick cloud so you can see it. We were burning grass and pumping it through there, so it wasn't exactly a thick smoke, but I mean it was doing its job, putting grass in a straw and lighting the straw and sucking it out the other end. Just glad she's back and working now. It's not the prettiest because of the previous owner here. Just random little old paint, you know. She needs a once over on a paint job, probably that $600 Mako. But that's for the future when there's a big old 302 motor in there, and you don't have to worry about bumping the paint when you're putting that thing in there. Because God forbid we go to put that motor in here and we scratch like up here or something. I'd be irritated. But yeah, just glad she's back. Thank you guys for watching. Sorry I haven't been on here much, but we'll keep it more up to date. See you.